Being able to see is a wonderful gift that allows us to read, admire, and play hit 2020 movement shooter Ultrakill. But what if that sight was stripped away? Well, I decided to find out the answer to that question by attempting to beat the game on its hardest difficulty, but with every death I would have to tweak some settings until the game looked like an ARG. So, without further delaying, allow me to present you this very, very dumb adventure. I hadn't really planned ahead for the first run, but for the most part I didn't really need to. Prelude is basically one big tutorial layer, which means it gives us a whole lot of breathing room. This also makes it a good place to iron out our strategy for the rest of the game. Really, it's quite simple. We want to avoid as many encounters as possible, and if we can't avoid them, we want to beat them as safe as possible. Sure, these tactics aren't very flashy, but they allow us to get through 0-1 and 2 without breaking a sweat. 0-3 would also be quite easy were it not for its star occupant. Swords Machine is the first real boss of the game, and to be fair, its initial encounter is no big deal. You can just slam up and down with some well-timed movement to kill him with no effort. After beating him, we get the shotgun, an amazing weapon that will become our go-to for crowd control. But wait, rewind. To be fair, its initial encounter is no big deal. Oh yeah, there's a second Swords Machine fight in this level, and this time he puts his sword into better use. Now that he no longer has a shotgun, he uses it as a ranged attack. Now, I didn't know about this move, but I thought it did fairly little damage, all things considered. I was wrong. No! There's the first death. Well, I guess that means it's time for me to introduce you to the death counter. This guy does exactly what you think it would do. It counts deaths, and along with that, every single time I have had to downgrade the graphics. Whilst there isn't an exact number of downgrades that would make the game unplayable, as I can choose which settings to downgrade first, in general assume that any more than 12 deaths will drastically decrease my ability to beat the game. When the death count pops up or changes, it will make this sound, which, why did it just... Oh man. Anyway, after getting past Swords Machine, we get a nice cakewalk in the form of 0-4, allowing us to easily pass to Cerberus. The Cerberai are not a particularly hard boss fight, hell, they become regular enemies later on, but with our limited set of weapons at the start of the game, this fight is a lot more challenging. Combined with them being able to dash twice in a row on Brutal, and this was really tough for me. In the end I beat it, but the Cerberai did manage to kill me once. Nonetheless, we get to move on to the next layer. Limbo. The false paradise. Fun fact, the Teletubbies were filmed here. 1-1 was a well-needed change of scenery for me after having to look at Prelude's dusty steel corridors for 5 levels straight. Even as the level descends back into combat, nothing here is really too difficult to pass through. However, this level is worth mentioning if only because we get the nail gun here, and whilst by itself it won't be too useful for us, the red variant we can buy in the terminal will be very useful once we come up against a certain someone. 1-2 goes similarly to its predecessor until it abruptly erupts into flames. I wonder who could have caused this. Oh, hello. Meet the street cleaners. I have a casual disdain for these guys. As you can tell, they have flamethrowers, are very fast, and just bulky enough not to die to most attacks immediately. This makes them such a pain, particularly when there's more than one of them, which there almost always is, and they proved enough of a nuisance to get me down another 2 deaths. Well, at least 1-3 went pretty well. To beat this level, we have to get one of these skulls to open a door in order to fight a mini-boss. The skulls are in 2 separate paths filled with numerous enemies that we can all, thankfully, skip. By going down the path to the right and fighting off what encounters we have to whilst avoiding the rest, the blue skull can be snatched with minimal effort. After returning, we place it on the pedestal, then go back, jump through the ceiling here, and find Since Hideous Mass, like you, doesn't shower at all, upon contact with basic hygiene, he, f***ing explodes. Alright, next up, 1-4. This level contains the first truly unique boss fight in the game. V2 basically has the same weapons and moveset as you. Oh, I guess the fight is over. Well then, on to Lust. Man, I love this layer. I mean, just look at all this bisexual lighting. Mwah! 2-1 was another walk in the park, especially since it's possible to skip the entirety of this level. Its successor was quite a bit more difficult, but ultimately I got through it without dying, picking up the rail cannon along the way. Then came 2-3. This level can be pretty hard, especially since the mind flayers are introduced here. God fucking damn it, I don't even want to get into why I hate them. If you know, then you know, man. Fuck them. Thankfully, we can actually skip them along with half the level, though not by maneuvering this time. Instead, by blowing up some panels, somehow causing the water to stop flowing in this level, and then going over here, through this crack that was previously blocked by rushing water, to another exit. One that leads us to... Oh, so that's what that tag on Steam meant. Anyway. After recovering my will to live, we get to move on to the final level of Lust and fight Minos, the king of Lust himself. Or, well, his rotting corpse. This fight is a tiny bit harder than V2, but that doesn't really say much, does it? I was able to beat the Corpse King in one attempt, meaning that we have officially beaten Lust, with 0 deaths added to the counter. Nice. This allows us to move into the final layer of Act 1, with only 5 deaths. That's pretty good. Gluttony is a bit different compared to the previous layers. It only has 2 levels, whilst the previous ones usually had 4. Both of these levels act as skill tests, with 3-1 specifically testing our crowd control ability. Honestly though, the encounters here are manageable enough, although the mind flayers did cause me a bit of trouble and ultimately 2 deaths. Nevertheless, we get to move on to 3-2, the finale of Act 1. Pretty tranquil level overall, so long as you ignore the voice.
Behold! The power of an angel!
Oh yeah, Archangel Gabriel. Boy, don't we all love this little femboy. Now alright, this guy is actually pretty tough. He's really fast on Brutal and can be difficult to dodge, especially during his second phase. My strategy for this fight was mostly a combination of parrying and then just kind of gambling my odds once he got past his first phase. This had worked for me before when I was trying to P-rank this level in the past, and so whilst I expected to die a bit here, I thought I'd get past this level with like 3 deaths at most. Gabriel whipped my ass. Just absolutely spread my and put his up my molested me until the game eventually looked like a Minecraft texture. By the end of the whooping, I had gained 17 deaths just off this one level. Fuck. Well, that was honestly a disaster. Turns out my strategy of gambling was utter garbage, and, well, shit man, that's that. There's simply no way to continue off this, obviously, and so... I suppose we have to start again. My second attempt actually got off to a great start. I had learned from my past mistakes and beat Swords Machine the Cerberus along with the rest of Prelude with a net 0 deaths, which was amazing progress from the free we got last time. Unfortunately, that momentum didn't last. I died twice in Limbo again, and then absolutely just blew it in Lust, dying 4 times, 3 of which were on 1 level. What? What? Huh? What? Obviously, I was quite frustrated because despite the fact I really did try here, I was now in a slightly worse position going into Gluttony than last time, being on 6 deaths rather than 5. Nonetheless, I put one foot in front of the other and gave Act 1's final layer another go. 3-1 with only 1 death was a slight moral boost before returning to Gabriel. Obviously though, my old strategy for him wasn't going to cut it, so I looked for some other ones to practice and eventually stumbled across these 2 tutorials. Credits to the guys who made them. Our first step in the fight is to throw up 4 coins and then shoot them with a piercer shot so they ricochet into Gabriel. Shortly afterwards, shooting him with a rail cannon, doing a decent amount of damage before the fight even starts. Next up is phase 1 of the fight, and honestly, all things considered, this part is actually pretty easy. Gabriel is slow enough here and we can beat him simply via parries and some lighter attacks. Once that's beaten, there's a brief moment during which he falls to the ground. This is where that nail gun variant I talked about before comes in. The jumpstart nail gun allows us to shoot a wire at Gabriel that, whilst we fill him up with bullets, charges an electric shock and chops off half of his remaining health. This leaves him with a bit of HP left, but it should get him low enough for me to handle the rest. Okay, now let's put that into practice. I messed it up. Since Gabriel hit the ground, the jumpstart strat won't fully work. I just have to wing it now. Holy, I did it! Alright, with Gabriel being sent up to be scolded, we can finally advance to the second act and the Layer of Greed. This first level is really easy because, like with 2-1, it can be entirely skipped. However, what follows is a bit more of a pain. Goddamn the Sun is certainly a level. Theoretically, it's quite similar to 1-3 in that we gotta collect skulls that lead us to fight a mini-boss. Once more, there are 2 skulls on separate paths with a bunch of enemies, but unlike last time, we must get both skulls, and there's no which means we will have to fight the Insurrectionist, and I could skip it via the secret level hidden here, which is Crash Bandicoot themed, but whilst I may not be the best at Ultrakill, I'd say I'm decent enough. If I showed you my Crash Bandicoot gameplay, I think the sun might just explode. So that's out of the picture, meaning I'm going to have to play it normally, and let me be honest, this didn't go well. I tried to play it safe, but if anything, I actually died more because of that. I got the skulls eventually, then died some more to the Insurrectionist. 8 deaths. That's what I ended with. 15 total. Sweet Jesus. There was no way I was going to get past 4-3. I mean, just look at the screen. So, that's it. Run 2 is dead in the water. Nah, well, I still got some left in me. If life is nothing but an endless race, you bet you're... Wait, this isn't my script. These are lyrics. What the fuck? I got back to 3-2 with only 1 death, and although Gabriel did manage to kill me once, I got the jumpstart strat to actually work this time, handily wrecking through his health, which allows me to make my return to Greed. Once more, I got to fly past 4-1 and re-enter the 4-2 train. I had a new idea for this level. You see, in order to get into the secret exit that's hidden here, we need to get this moon pendant. Now, whilst obviously I'm not going to go to the level, using it can turn the sand in this level that normally damages you into simple, walkable terrain. And that's gonna help a lot, especially when fighting the Insurrectionist. Of course though, this doesn't make the fights for the skulls any easier. Now last time it became pretty apparent that standing on the roof, throwing coins and aura farming were not going to give me a good result. Which does put us in a bit of a pickle, seeing as, well, there isn't really any other safe way to do this, and I mean, just charging in guns blazing is never going to be safe here. What do you mean it worked? How the hell was it easier to fight them? I was able to get past the Insurrectionist afterwards and upgrade our previous horrendous count of 8 devs on this level to just 1. Up next, 4-3, a level that's really dark and stuff. Literally. This one had some pretty tough fights, but I managed to survive it well enough, dying only twice. 4-4 is our first boss level of the second act. I wonder who it'll be this time. Oh, it's V2 again, and he seems a little mad that we beat him up with coins last time. Unfortunately, there isn't such a shortcut for this fight, meaning that we will actually have to fight him. Oh man. And yeah, he's way harder, partially due to the fact that he has his own coins now. And hey, I'll give him this. He got me twice, okay? Fair is fair. Nonetheless, it wasn't enough, and shortly afterwards, he had to flee once more. He didn't get far this time. Now that we have a grappling hook arm, and with V2 finally canonically confirmed dead, we get to move on to Wrath. 5-1 is a pretty fun level with an ending I didn't really want to deal with. Sentries scare me. Thankfully, by ringing a bell, we can avoid them and move to
the fishing level.
Ah, this is what I bought Ultrakill for. What? Huh? Huh? What the fuck? What? Wait, what is this? What the fuck? Day 529. Still searching. No contact from the agency in 216 days. I should return to HQ, but I can't. Not yet. I have to know. It's there. Somewhere. I have to see. I have to know. 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 Interesting. Moving along, 5-2 was pretty easy. It introduces the idols, which can be a pain in the ass, but thankfully they're no big deal in this level, and we can skip fighting the ferryman altogether. 5-3 was quite a bit more difficult for me. I actually had to fight the sentries this time, which was not easy. And then the game sets you up with this definitely not suspicious power-up that will most certainly not cause half the enemies in the game to spawn on you. Oh, okay. That was something. Well, at least the fight was worth it, because getting the rocket launcher will be amazing for our mobility. I love the way Leviathan is introduced. All the build up for it is awesome. It also happens to be the most pathetic boss in the whole game. 5-4 is like a matchup between a spider and a snake, except the snake is a bit slow and the spider has a gun. I do enjoy this fight despite that though. Riding on Leviathan is fun, and I mean, I'm not going to complain. I have 9 deaths already, and the screen quality is visibly getting worse, so I'll take a freebie, especially given what we're about to come up against next. Heresy is the final layer of Act 2, and similarly to Gluttony, only has 2 levels. If I'm being honest, I'm a bit of a tsundere for this layer. I despise it for the amount of pain it put me through, but god damn it is it not amazing to look at. And this soundtrack, oh my god. 6-1 has a lot of annoying encounters, but thankfully thanks to the rocket launcher we get to skip a good chunk of them. The final one, however, cannot be avoided, and is probably the single most annoying thing I had to deal with in this challenge. Mostly due to the return of these guys. The Hideo Kojimas are such an incredible annoyance. They mainly rely on barrage and slam attacks, but easily their worst move is their harpoon attack that's pretty difficult to dodge and massively hinders your movement when hit. It's hard to dodge it with even just one of them present, and there are 2 here. As you can guess, this had predictable consequences. No! It took me 5 full tries before I managed to finally beat them and move on to 6-2 and Gabriel's return. The problem, however, is that now with 14 deaths on the counter, it wasn't really possible for me to fight against Gabriel properly. And soon enough, we were back to my screen looking like Missingno. This was genuinely such a good run. I had hope for it. There were only 4 levels left after this, and yet there was no way this was going to be possible. And that means we have to restart again. Alright, let's just get through this one quickly. This video is long enough. I got past all of Act 1 with only 2 deaths, and then had a really incredible greed, dying 0 times. I had hope once again. It didn't last. Raph was just not good for me this time around. I died 4 times. That's fucking terrible. There's no good way to put it. And to make matters worse, I did not recover in 6-1. Those scorpion fucks killed me 8 times. Look, it's 14 deaths. At this point, getting past Act 2 Gabriel was just a fantasy. There are way worse problems going on in the world right now. There's poverty, war, other stuff. At the end of the day, this is a completely self-imposed challenge. There is no reason for me to be mad over it. But god damn it, I've been doing this for 4 attempts now, over multiple runs. There's a whole bunch I didn't even show you because they didn't get off the ground. It just feels like there's nothing I can do. No matter what, I'll do just something totally stupid and f*** it up over and over. Kurwa mać! I don't really know how, it just kinda happened, but somehow I beat the first act without dying. Oh, but don't you worry, I managed to f*** it up anyway. You see, in between the acts, I took a break, and when I came back, I got an insanely good run. I absolutely slammed through Greed, Wrath, and got past Gabriel and Heresy. I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to figure out what's wrong here. 3, 2... It says violent here, it's supposed to say brutal. I beat it on the wrong difficulty. God damn it. Now, listen, I'm not restarting at this point, so here's the deal. 2 new rules. First, I cannot use any new weapons until I reach the same point where I unlock them on the violent run. So, for an example, I can't use the Whiplash until I kill V2. Second, I cannot buy any new weapons since the points are all messed up now. Then finally, I go back to the start of Greed since that was when I accidentally switched to violent, and pretend none of that happened. You got that? Alright, let's go. I got past Greed again with 2 deaths and then shot through Wrath with only 1, re-entering Heresy once more. We're up against those demon scorpions again, however this time I have a new surprise tool that I bought just before killing V2 on the Violent run, the Screwdriver Rail Cannon. I used to think this gun was useless. I was also stupid. This gun does 2 important things for us. First, when an enemy is hit with it, a drill is stuck into them that does damage over a period of time, giving us a nice healing fountain until it runs out. And second, as one last boost before it expires, we can punch the drill into an enemy for some extra damage. The plan was simply to use it against them, and if I still get hit by their harpoon, use the grappling arm to regain a bit of my mobility. And it worked perfectly. After the scorpions were out, all that remained was Father, and I dealt with that easily. Which brings us right back to Gabriel. Now, some of the strats from our previous fights stay around, but not without amendments. We're going to add the Screwdriver Rail Cannon into our strat for some good healing, but more importantly, despite the fact that most of the game so far has taught you that being midair is a safe place to be, we actually want to sit our ass down and slide around for this fight while parrying what we can. With that out the way, let's get to it. Yes? Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Come on. No. Yes! Yes! It worked! Fuck you, Skyboy! Oh my god. That worked even better than I expected it to. If Gabriel defeated, he will go up to the heavens in order to kill the people that scolded him, but who cares, that'll only be relevant in like 2 years. More importantly for us, we got to Act 3 with 0 deaths in the first act, 2 in Greed, 1 in Wrath, and somehow, in some way, 0 in Heresy. This is the run. All that remains to be done is one final layer. Violence. So, let's not delay, shall we? 7-1 is a really cool level, mostly because it has a jump scare.
We're good, chat. We're good.
Despite how spooky the mannequins are and how annoying they can be, this level was fairly easy, with only a few challenging sections that I got past anyway. Even the Minotaur, or I guess not the Minotaur, wasn't a particularly tough fight. And 7-2 follows in its footsteps. This one is extra easy because there's actually a built-in path made to avoid every enemy here, so it was a cakewalk. The difficulty ramps up pretty quickly after this, however. 7-3 has a lot of enemy encounters and one massive one at the end. I wanted to deal with absolutely none of them, and luckily, you can do so as there's another secret exit here. To get there though, we actually need the street cleaners, funnily enough. We have to trick them into burning some foliage, and that will give us entry into 7-S and the Library of Babel. Unlike previous secret levels, we do actually have to fight some enemies here. They can be a bit tough, but I got through it with only 2 deaths and then got to clean up after myself. Blessed is he who believes in the run. This is the one, boys. I believe in it. Anyway, after 30 minutes of doing that, I reached 7-4, like in Tennis to Heaven. As of writing, and with Fraud still in development, this is the last level in the game, and therefore, all that remains is the Horsemen of the Apocalypse and my one machine mission to give it a DIY lobotomy. So, first and foremost, I boosted myself onto the deck of the Earth Mover to skip over all the fights there. We would have to fight the Earth Mover's security system now, but if we just charge this box with a rail cannon... What? I said if we charge... Wait, can I not do this? Oh, I guess that means we have to fight the security system. Oh no. Okay, honestly, I'm exaggerating a bit. The security system fight turned out to be a cakewalk. Still, not great that my plane is already facing issues this soon. After moving past that and the idols within the Earth Mover, we reached the machine's brain, powered by none other than Toby Fox! I practiced a decent bit for this fight, and despite that, things started going wrong almost instantly. No, how? What? What the fuck was that? As you can tell, I began to panic because this was bad. I had 4 deaths now to this single fight, and like at this pace, I'm not gonna be able to see in like 6 minutes. But you know what? No, it doesn't matter. I don't care if I won't be able to see by the end of it. I am going to beat this level here and now. I am not going back. Yes! Oh my god. There it is. With the Earth Mover's brain down, it enters a state of meltdown. We now get 50 seconds to get out before it explodes. And to do that, we have to reach this vent. Of course, it isn't as simple as just walking to it. There is one last fight for us to take on. After that, it's over. All of it. This whole challenge. So, let's just do it. Come on, please. Please! Yes! 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 Oh my god. Oh. With that, after 9 deaths and 5 whole attempts, I did it. I beat the entirety of Ultrakill without my screen becoming a crappy TV sensor. Hey, wait. I'm supposed to change my settings exactly as many times as I died. There are 8 changes I made to the graphics. I died 9 times. Oh no, you fucking idiot!